Hey guys.
Hi.
You're listening to Not As We Planned. So get ready for
Honest,
raw,
unfiltered,
unhinged story,
where we share our advice, opinions,
and talk about all the shit that people avoid discussing. We want to point out we are not qualified professionals, although I feel like I am one.
and what we say is the advice we would give to our besties. Hello, everybody. How are you lovelies all doing this week?
Oh, you sound very much. Would you like a cup of tea, darling?
You know why?
I've got such a bad headache.
I'm feeling really under the weather.
Oh God, we are.
No, we're not being negative.
No, we're going to be positive because I'm a girlfriend. Oh, God, go on, rap for me. Make me a song. Go. You were quite good, like that. Okay, let's do it. Ready? Let's get everyone, guys. Whoever's listening, get up on your feet. Start clapping.
I need the beat.
I need a beat. Go. 1, 2, 3, go.
Tash is now a girlfriend. Her single days have come to an end.
Oh, I've got a stitch.
Wait. He did it in... Wait. He smashed it with a night of romance. I guess the end there were no pants. I'm actually good on that.
Right.
I just expect nothing less. Anyway, I don't think people are tuning in to listen to me rap. If you want to do that, maybe I'll do some little private session. No, that just sounds weird.
That sounds fucking
That sounds
very adorned. Carly is now advertising. Click the link for her private sessions of the rap.
Finds out quite hard.
The only rap I've got is my chicken wrap for lunch.
Oh, so what's in your food? Yeah. You're getting your feet out ready for the private link.
Fox and Sa.
Oh, me too.
Oh, how? Oh,
Leave that there.
you've got there.
Leave
Do you
that
know what? Is this a sign for us to let everyone know what we've just booked?
Yeah, let's do it.
Should we do it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Right, guys. So we have an announcement to make. Drum roll, please. We have booked our second event. Woo!
Should we say the day?
Yeah, let's do it.
8th of February, baby.
Yes.
8th of February, the month of love, the month of... No. Gross. We're really excited. All we're going to say to you is it is in the Oxford Bicester area.
And that means, guys, don't be put off if that means a few hours drive. It's in a hotel.
On a weekend.
You can stay overnight. It's on a weekend. It's near public transport.
And you
Make
treat
a day of
yourself
it.
with a Bicester Village trip the day after. I probably am.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Just love that. We can have breakfast together.
I'm in.
Yeah, let's do it.
So yeah, get your, well, you can't
Not
get
get your
tickets,
tickets.
but listen out because we'll be posting them first on Patreon and probably
Yeah, so
they'll
if-
get 24 hours access before, won't they?
Yeah, so if you were desperate to come, who wouldn't be, make sure you join Patreon.
We
Even
do
if
have
you
limited
join just-
tickets as well. Like
even
if they sell out the day before, there's not a lot we can do.
join just for the month that we are releasing them. At least you get that priority.
Clever.
And then there is something that hopefully we can announce really, really soon about something that is
Just
happening
waiting on the logistics.
very, very soon. Anyway, should we have a little
That, well, go on then.
Okay.
I don't fit. I love
Sorry, guys. Now you're not going to just listen to one soppy, loved up cow.
It's so big.
There's two of us. Moo. No, so we went to Norfolk for the weekend, stayed in the most gorgeous lodge, was really cute, and it was just a really, really nice weekend. He's was very romantic and sweet. And do you know what's so eye-opening? It's when you have a boyfriend when you're 35 years old, you've been married, you've been proposed to, yet he did the most romantic thing anyone's ever done for me. And I actually turned around to him afterwards and I was like, that is the nicest thing anyone's ever done for me. And I was like, and I've been proposed to. That says a lot.
Literally what I said to my boyfriend when he took me away on the surprise.
Really?
I was like, no one's ever done anything.
Yeah, I just think it says a lot. I mean, I really should have said no to his proposal. It was fucking shocking. There was no.
That's another story.
Do you know what? Actually, it's funny because I might be going off on a tangent here, but we'll roll with it. I was writing something the other day, and that is a lie. I was writing something, but writing something made me read back on something old, and it really, I can't work out if it made me sad that I thought this way back in the day, or happy that I know now that it's not the case. But what I read was about the time that I went on my first date with my ex-boyfriend. The reason why I was reading this is because I'm actually, may as well say it, because people might think I'm like reminiscing about my ex-boyfriend. I don't want people thinking that. I'm writing a book and I'm having to proofread it. Anyway, I read this bit and I wrote that when he came to pick me up on our first date, instead of, he messaged me saying, oh, I'm here, I'm a bit early, are you ready? And I said, yeah, I'm ready. And he messaged me back going, okay, I'll come to the door. And I wrote, it was in that moment I knew that I was dating someone who was different. And it's really sad that I thought that him coming to the door instead of me waiting to come to the car, I literally was like blown away by this like kindness. Like he was like, oh my God, he's a man. It's like, do you know what? It was just really eye-opening to read it back. And I was like, wow, I remember thinking it. I remember literally being like, jaw-dropping, like, oh my God, he's coming to the door. How sad is that?
I completely get it.
And also, it just highlighted to me, when we sometimes say to people, if you don't do the work and work on yourself and your self-worth and really understand what is bare minimum, what is a green flag, what is a red flag, your standards, you think they're high, but they're not. They are, like, that is just, for me, if a man was coming to pick me up and didn't come to my door, what are you doing? Well, I wouldn't come out.
Yeah.
Do you know, like, so I don't know. It just, anyway, I've gone completely off topic, but I'm very happy. We've taken it really slow. We've been together for 4 months, but it was just something that like took some time for me, I think, to maybe like let my guard down and
understandable,
let him in completely. But yeah, now I'm all in. So yeah, how about you, babe?
Well, it's my birthday this week. Another year.
Birthday to ya. Happy birthday.
It was a weird one. So I went away with the boys on my own for the weekend. I'm not even going to bore you guys with that, but yeah, don't recommend the Belfry Hotel.
Oh, really?
Don't recommend it. Their customer service has been absolutely shocking. Sorry to call them out, but I will. Don't book it. Honestly, I stay in a lot of places, right? Yeah. Like probably the worst hotel experience I've had thus far. Yeah, don't go. And the communication I'm having with the complaints at the moment isn't great. So I don't like calling companies out, but I also think there's a way to rectify things, and they haven't done that, and therefore I will. So, lol.
Sorry, not sorry.
I'm not sorry.
No.
So it's my birthday one. It was a weird one because my boyfriend is actually away for the week. And obviously, it's not a great feeling. And and as well, like, it was a Monday night. He would normally have been at mine. And I don't want to make him feel any worse than I know he already felt. It's the one trip of the year. It's in America, and he can't get out of it. All the others, like, he can kind of like, if there's something on, he can like do a few days and go back or whatever if it's in Europe. But it's in America. He's there for like, he was there Saturday till Saturday morning. It's the longest one. So I felt like a bit like, oh, like I don't get to spend it with him, because obviously I wanted to. But the boys were lovely. Like, they got a card from each of them, flowers and a present. So
hold on. As in, like, the ex did that. Do you know what? I don't often get shocked.
But this is why it's so good to have your expectations low, because that was genuinely, I know for most people they'd be like, well, obviously, yeah, got a candle, flowers, and a card. He'd taken them on. I don't know, it made me a bit scared. But I just mean, like, honestly, like, for me, I didn't expect any of that. I fully had prepared myself not to get anything. So actually having that, I was like, this is so nice. And I said to him, when
you're listening, thanks, babe.
Thank you. But when he dropped them off, I said, like, thank you. That means a lot.
So a massive step.
It is a big step. So let's recognise that.
And it's good. I think it's good of you to thank him, because also some people might see that as like, why are you so excited? It's bare minimum. But I think looking at what your relationship...
I didn't get a Mother's Day card. So, like, for me, I wanted to reinforce the good behaviour so it continues, you know?
Yeah.
And they were really cute. Like Theo's really aware it was my birthday, and like they both came in singing in the morning, and like he was like, we have to be extra nice to mummy today because it's so bad. Like he was just really sweet. I took him to an Everyman cinema after school. We watched Paddington.
Was it good?
Really good. And Milo's 3 didn't take his eyes off it the whole time. Fully invested. Loved it. Brilliant. Yeah, really good. So we had like cookie dough and pizza in the cinema. It was just a bit different, and I genuinely had a really lovely day. And I just felt really weird on my birthday. I kept crying. I kept bursting out crying. And I just had this overwhelming feeling like I'm 37 years old. I'm in the middle of a divorce. I just didn't ever expect my life being like this. And I'm not saying I've got a shit life. I'm very aware I'm in a very good position and I am happy. So I think in my head, I was like, why are you crying? Because you're happier than you've ever been. But I just think... I don't know. The thing that set me off, I don't want to like upset my mum or anything, but she sent me a message like, just wanted to know, like, I'm so proud of you. And then I went into a bit of like self-sabotage mode and was like, yeah, I'm sure you're proud of your 37-year-old like daughter going through divorce. Like, I don't know. I don't know if anyone else does this, but I like attacked myself for my situation.
I think sometimes we, like you said, and I think you said it in the episode that's out today because I was listening to it, like sometimes you think to yourself that you don't deserve to cry or you shouldn't be because you're happy. But I have had situations before where like how you feel generally in your life doesn't match how your emotions are actually coming out. Sometimes you just got to ride.
It was really weird. And as well, I think I felt all I wanted was a cuddle from my boyfriend and he wasn't there. And like, well, so he'd done like, obviously my weekend away was like my main present and he'd come around on the Friday. We went out for dinner on the Friday night before he went and he gave me my presents, cards, stuff. And I don't know, it was just like his presence. And then we walked in from the cinema and as we walked in, like a van pulled in with a massive bouquet of flowers and he'd written a really cute note on it. And I just burst out crying again. And I was just like, it's just what I needed. I needed that, some kind of presence from him there on my birthday. Not a present, but like
his present.
Yeah, like I can't explain it. Like it's not to do with the flowers. It's not to do with the present or anything. It was just to know, like, he was thinking of me anyway, yeah. And, like, one thing I really wanted to touch on, I sent a voice note to you in the car, is, for me, and it always has been, a massive trigger with a new relationship is things revolving, working late, working away.
And another one. Another one.
And I'm sure that's understandable. So, for me, like, this trip coming, so this time of year, he has trips quite a lot for 6 months of the year. Most of them none of them are as long as this one. This is the longest one, and I knew that. But this time last year, when he went away on his trips, when I don't know why he was still with me afterwards, I was like, I wasn't in any way healed. I was like in accusatory mode. I was like in runaway mode. Like I couldn't handle what was happening, which wasn't anything, he was working in another country, but I was so triggered and I hadn't really done any work. And this week, I'm just really proud of how far I've come in a year. Like I actually haven't had those intrusive thoughts. I fully trust this man, but also before he went, he asked me what I need to make me feel safe. Is there anything he can do whilst he's away? And we had a chat about it and it was just so nice to know, A, like he'd given the thought to it, but B, he's done all those things that I said would help.
Yeah.
And he's really made me feel safe and loved. And yeah, don't get me wrong, it's still really hard and it's even harder when we're on different time zones. I think that's the biggest struggle at the moment because I'm so used to talking to him. I have been talking to him before I go to bed, but then, I don't know, it's just a bit weird. But yeah,
You've nearly done.
I've nearly done. So he's got one more night doing the presentation stuff tonight. He's got one more day working tomorrow and he's on a flight back tomorrow night. He'll be back on Saturday morning. So countdown days and I've got a weekend with him and then bless him, like because he's missed out on time with us, he's taking some extra days off work in the week and the next few coming weeks, which is really nice.
I mean, I'm not able to be with my boyfriend. Sorry, 6'6" has been upgraded to boyfriend.
Yeah.
He's got his kids on my birthday. That's his time to have Christmas.
It's so
and it's just, it is just one of those things. And I think back in the day, I think I said this to you before, like I'd go into that like self-sabotage and almost be like, oh, so.
When I found out he wasn't going to be here on my birthday, I I did get really upset with him.
Yeah.
And then it took me a bit to like step back and be like, I'm really sorry. And he was like, I think what you mean to say is you feel really disappointed. I was like, yes, I do. But like, and I don't get it right all the time. I was upset, and my immediate thing was, well, me, she don't love me. But he literally could not. There's nothing he could do about this trip.
It's pretty much what I was explaining, I think, a few episodes ago, where I said that, like, I literally took a step back and realised, like, he already feels bad that he can't be with me. Why am I there?
He feels bad. He's away from me. He feels bad. He's away from his kids. He's got all this guilt. Why am I adding to it? He doesn't want to be there any more than...
That's it, exactly.
But, yeah, it's been... Yeah, I'm proud of myself, and, you know, I'm still not 100% perfect, but I'm working on it, and it's just nice. It's just nice to know, like,
it's really easy to see how far you've come, because
it's not even that. It's just like, even for myself, like, I remember last year, you know, that anxiety, and it wasn't anything to do with him. It was all because of past relationships. And I haven't sat with that in my heart whilst he's been away. And I know that sounds like a bare minimum, but I think it's a bit different when it's to do with like you healing yourself and knowing like all those things were someone else. They weren't him, and they never have been him. Yeah. So here for it too.
Do some emails.
Go in. Okay, this one is called Update, Patreon Episode 6, Scenario and Bullshit Story, Hidden Nudes and Videos in Secret File plus a Hack. I remember that episode.
Okay.
Do you remember it?
No, remind me.
She found, like, all these hidden videos of, like, him having sex with ex.
Oh, yeah, and she wasn't sure if they happened when they were together or not.
Yeah.
Some were, like, from previous.
Yeah.
And
wasn't it, like, I feel like there was
surfing.
No, it was, like, kayaking.
Yeah, how funny? Like,
Yeah. Girl from that.
Yeah, do it.
Shit,
What's our memory so good?
So good. Hello, girls. I love your pod, and I don't know why it took me so long to sign up to Patreon. Guys.
Wow. Oh my God, guys, you know what? You should ask for Christmas from a partner? A Patreon membership.
£4. If they say no, like, question who you're with.
Red flag.
Call it a stocking filler. It's safe to say I am binging the episodes, and thank you. You actually read mine out on Patreon episode 6, the one about finding nudes and videos in a hidden folder on his iPad and creating a bullshit story. I obviously didn't know this, and so I want to give you an update on what I did. Brackets. I didn't follow your advice. That's dead. Whoops. She wrote, I couldn't bring myself to confront him about it. I'm not the kind of person to violate someone's privacy, even though I did.
And yes, this was it.
Yeah.
She saw it all, but she didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Got it.
And I just didn't want him to have that view of me. I was so off with him for a day, and he immediately knew something was wrong. He asked me constantly what was wrong, and that's when I said the bullshit story. He responded quite well. He initially said, who has said that? Why are people trying to break us up? And that he didn't sleep with her. I said, look, George, that's a fake name. I know you slept with each other, and it hurts that you can't be honest about it. I genuinely think he thought I was going to split up with him about it. This is before, so just to give people, if you've not listened to Patreon, it's not someone he slept with whilst they were in the relationship. It was before they were together. But
she found out that he had done it, and she was annoyed that he was lying about it, because then I think she felt like, if he's going to lie about that, what else is he lying about?
Yeah, but it wasn't during the relationship.
No.
I know you slept with each other, and it hurts that you can't be honest about it. I genuinely think he thought I was going to split up with him about it. He was terrified, and this is partly the reason why I think he tried to say he didn't do it. He then changed his tune, saying that they may have kissed. I said, look, I know you slept together. We don't have to talk about it, but I just want you to know I know. The fact that he didn't deny it and was happy to move on from the subject is admitting guilt in my eyes. I have never returned to the kayak club, which I went to twice a week for 3 years, and he hasn't returned either. Although I have heard the girl he slept with is pregnant now, so I may make a comeback. I noticed you wondered how I got into the Hidden album, and I'm not sure if this is common knowledge or if I'm just a fucking genius, but I found a hack that you ladies need to know.
Oh my God, can you imagine if it's the, you know, when we try to take a photo of ourselves and then
that didn't work. The Hidden album has fingerprint recognition. I put my fingerprint in and it obviously didn't work. But then it came up to enter code instead of fingerprint. And voila, I know the code, entered it in and it unlocked the hidden folder. I actually went into the folder again. FYI, I didn't watch the videos. That would just be grim. And deleted everything, and then deleted everything from his recently deleted folder and then synced it. So I think what that means is that when he synced his mobile phone, it would have deleted from there too. He has never said anything and hasn't noticed. I may also add that all the videos had the cloud symbol beside them and had to be downloaded to watch, which means, I think, that he hadn't watched them in quite some time. I hope. This guy absolutely loves me to the moon and back, and we have since actually got engaged to be married in July. He is well aware that I will not accept any bullshit or lies, and I 100% know my worth, and he knows it too. Ladies who are listening, you should be treated like an absolute princess, and your man should be the prince. My last relationship wasn't great, and boy, am I glad I made the jump. Hack number 2 that I've recently found out, not through looking, genuinely just found this out from a friend. If someone sends you a message on WhatsApp and deletes it and you want to see what it said, or you're wondering if your partner is messaging someone and deleting messages, this is the hack for you. If it's to see what a deleted message that has been sent to you said, go to settings on your phone, then to notifications, then to advanced settings, and then to notification history. Here you will see all the messages that the phone has received, as long as the person has chat back up on WhatsApp, which, to be honest, who doesn't? If you want to see who your partner has been receiving messages from, then you would obviously follow the above steps on their device. Keep doing what you're doing. Love, love, love. Your biggest, not as we planned, fan.
Who knew that hack existed, eh? How many people are going to go and do that? I've actually got another hack for you.
There we go.
Before we talk about how email. So if someone, like, you know, like when you're like, I mean, I say when you're dating someone, like this can be for anything, but you know, when you're dating someone, you might be like, oh, send me a pic or whatever, and they'll send you a pic. There's a way to see if that picture was actually taken there and then, or if it's really old.
God, you make me feel ill.
No, so I mean, if someone's like making out that they're like all made up, looking really good, but really it's like a backup.
Right,
like,
yeah.
When they're like, so for example, like if I was speaking like in the texting stages, speaking to someone and they were like, oh, like let's see what you look like,
right?
And sending like an old photo that I took in like June last year.
You had your makeup done professionally.
Yeah. So basically, what you then do is if you save the photo to your phone that they've sent you, and then you go into your photo album and look at it and scroll it up, you see all the details as to when it was taken, the date, the time, and everything. So if you ever want to send a photo to a guy or something, although I don't think many guys would know this hack, or even if you're trying to catch someone out, like, can you let me know where you are? And they send something, you can see if it's live or not. And I wish I knew that back in the day when I was married, because the amount of times that he'd send me photos to like, I mean, it's the fact that I even needed photos.
Yeah. Red flag.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's quite it's a good hack for you catching someone out. But also, if you want to make sure that you want someone to know that your photos are actually live, screenshot the photo and then send that one, because that detail, do you see what I mean?
Yeah, but we're not encouraging people to lie.
I mean, when you're dating, if you're like someone,
yeah, but we're not talking about like, where are you?
No, I'm talking more from a girl point of view of like, oh, like, let's see what you look like in bed right now, and you've got some old sexy photo when you're in bed. Like, make sure it's updated. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever done that.
I mean, neither, because I don't think boys would know the hack.
No, I mean, I don't think I've ever been like,
oh,
anyway, not in bed. Right, go.
Oh, we haven't even discussed her email.
Oh, forgot about that. Look, glad you're happy and glad you've got what you needed in terms of
like him knowing that you know.
Yeah. And the fact that he doesn't go anymore, he's not going somewhere where he knows you'd feel uncomfortable. I think that's really positive.
I don't love that he never admitted it.
Yeah.
But as long as you're happy and you feel like he treats you right, that's all that really matters.
And just be aware of any other red flags that come up.
Yeah. Okay, this is called The Great Escape.
Ooh.
Sounds like a film.
That is a film.
Oh, that's why.
No, that's not.
Okay.
I really pretty sure. I might make that up. Probably not.
Hi ladies, I've recently started listening to your podcast and it's helping me so much right now. I was due to get married in September to the person I'd been with for 16 years. We have 2 children together. In March, he went on his stag do.
Oh no.
Lo and behold, he cheated on me. I knew something was off when he came back. I went on my hen do, which I didn't want to attend. I knew his behaviour was off. A few weeks later, he went for a night away. He actually met this girl there with a few of his friends and hers. I knew he'd been up to something. He wouldn't come near me, made out I was going crazy, panic attacked and being emotionally abused. I told my friends he's cheated and they said he wouldn't do that. What hit home most during all of this was when I sat and cried one day, he shouted, "Not again." My daughter said, "Daddy isn't nice to you. Even if my worst enemy was crying, I'd check on them." He was vile one night to me. I'd picked him up from the pub. He didn't want to be picked up. Bearing in mind, he had to drive 4 hours to work the next day. He did all of this in front of our teenagers, swearing at me, shouting at me and getting aggressive. Needless to say, my teens were not happy with him. Eventually, I found out the truth. He did cheat. He'd been messaging this girl all along. He tried to break things off with me, so I'd never have found out the truth. He left my house. He'd see my son and daughter every other Sunday. I thought this was best, as they like to do their own thing on a Saturday. It was hard to get my daughter to go out with him on a Sunday. She resented him. My daughter started self-harming. She went to counselling. She got better as time had gone on, and this has now stopped. She didn't want her dad to be involved, not when he was an absent father. I eventually picked myself up, went out with friends, started focusing on myself. It took 2 months for me to get to being me. My God, I was a different person, more outspoken, and for once, not taking any rubbish off anyone. Fast forward a few months and I've met someone. This wasn't meant to be, but I tried, and it's a lesson learned. He was lovely, but just not the time maybe. I found out my son and daughter's dad is still seeing this girl. He's moved in with her to Ireland. He has hardly been seeing the teens now, only when he can be bothered to catch a flight. He asked me one day what I spend my maintenance money on, started giving me less because they asked for things off their dad. How is this okay? He left me with debt, paying for rings I couldn't return, a house that cost me too much, a car that was expensive. Everything is in my name. He couldn't care less. I didn't think I'd ever get out of the way I felt, but I did. I do have some bad days, but don't we all? If anything, this has taught me, don't be bitter, be better. Life's too short to let one tiny man get in the way. We still feel it as a family of 3, but wow, I had a great escape. I mean, that must be so difficult. Do you think it's this September? We're only in November. Like, just in a few months of you being in such a much positive headspace, like...
I feel like planning a wedding's meant to be fun and exciting and like, I don't know, like I feel like when you're engaged to someone, that's like their commitment to you, like it's forever. And
we said, didn't we, like how many people must cheat on that?
I wonder if she's written in off the back of that.
Was it like,
yeah.
Thank you for writing in. It sounds like you're doing really well. Concentrate on yourself and your kids. They're very lucky to have you. And he sounds like a waste of space and a bit of a piece.
Yeah, like honestly as well, like try not to focus on him and him being with this other woman, like not being funny. If he can do that to the mother of his kids and his fiance, like good luck. Nothing's, you know, do you know what I mean? Like nothing's secure with the new woman. Again, like you're doing the right things. Focus on yourself, focus on healing, focus on your kids. And one day, you know, if you want to meet someone, then you're going to attract someone so much better into your life.
I think it's good that maybe she said like that person like wasn't the right time. Like that would have been very quick.
Yeah.
It's good that it didn't work out.
This one, thank you. Kiss, kiss, kiss.
Oh, okay, cute.
Girls, firstly, I want to say how incredible you both are. I mean, if this doesn't give us a confidence. And secondly, how happy I am to see you both so happy, confident and content. I want to say a huge thank you. If it wasn't for you both, I would never have left my partner of 10 years and father of my son. After years of abuse and him promising to change, he betrayed me in the worst way possible. I found messages on his phone of him arranging to meet prostitutes. Days where he was supposedly at work and a day after a big family birthday party for our son. He obviously denied it. Apparently he didn't go through with it because he didn't have the balls. And for a couple of months, I actually believed his lies, even though he admitted on camera that he had done it 4 times. I honestly thought it was the end of the world. I was heartbroken, but actually this is what I needed. I needed a reason to leave. I relate to this. I really relate to this. And I am now so thankful he did what he did, because if he didn't, I wouldn't have left him. I'd still be in the same awful, abusive relationship, begging for his love and time and hiding away from my friends and family, pretending life was great. I spent around 8 of the 10 years being abused verbally and mentally, being left alone constantly whilst he was in the pub. I never ever drank when we went out together because I was too scared I may need my car to be able to leave the house with my child if he became angry. I told no one. I was called every name under the sun. I was belittled to the point I felt worthless. I thought that no one would have ever believed me because I'm normally very outspoken and confident. It became almost accepted that he could just abuse me. Like a learnt behaviour, I suppose. And genuinely, I think if I didn't catch him out, I still would have been dealing with it now. I'm crying writing this because it really hits home when you have to write it out. I can't believe I've dealt with this for so long. The worst thing is I still questioned myself constantly about leaving. I messaged you girls in the summer of 2023, a while after I caught him out. Thankfully, one of you replied, and without telling me directly to leave, you made it pretty clear what I should do, and I can never thank you enough. Your reply saved me. Your podcasts have continued to heal me. I also started therapy, which has really helped. Your podcast has made me laugh, cry, but more importantly, has taught me about self-worth. I am now with someone who is everything my ex wasn't.
Oh, I just got goosebumps.
He is kind, caring, affectionate, understanding, and most importantly, he loves me for who I am. He's healing a heart he didn't break. And yes, I've pushed him away several times because I didn't understand why he was being so nice. Relate. I just assumed it would all go wrong. He was patient and unbelievably supportive. He listened and dealt with anything that was thrown at him. We've been together for 8 months now, and I can honestly say he's the love of my life and my best friend. I never knew a relationship could be so calm and loving. He's taking on my little boy, and their relationship melts my heart. I never wanted marriage or another child, but watch this space. Thank you, girls, from the bottom of my heart. You saved me. Keep doing what you're doing. You're helping people more than you'll ever know. I think you're incredible. Your children will be so proud. We'll die. Oh, fuck. Honestly, we love hearing from you guys. We really do love hearing people taking on advice, or even just listening and being like, and relating that to your situation, being like, hang on a minute, like, I'm not being treated right. I deserve more. This is not okay. And I think it's really powerful to hear about all these incredible women who build up that courage and leave and start over. You know, like, I just think to hear that constantly, like, I know we say we get a lot of negative stories, and of course we hear about loads of shitty men, but what we also hear from is hundreds of strong, brave women and some men.
And you know what, can I point out? And all those women that do the work and email us back, find the good guys. And let's actually highlight that. I know we speak about all the shitty guys so many times, but then it seems like they all go and do the work and find the good guys because they exist.
And you're in a better place. You're attracting them into your life.
100%. I honestly feel like when people always say things like, "Oh, I just want to find someone. I want to find someone. I want to love someone. I want them to love me." I really do believe that once we realise that we weren't the problem, and that if we do the work, we do genuinely attract what we put out. If you are struggling to find that good person, carry on looking within. I genuinely believe there is always work that we can do on ourselves. Journaling for me, game changer. Listening to podcasts, so helpful. Going to therapy, absolutely needed. Don't always put that pressure on, like, there's no one out there. There's no one out there. I really do believe that you can manifest the person that you really want, but you can only manifest the perfect person if you feel like you can offer that person what you want them to offer you. I believe that. Okay, this is called To Stay or To Go. Do you remember we used to
well, that's there.
Hey girlies, I recently started listening, still catching up, so sorry if this isn't relevant to your current content. I've been with my husband for nearly 11 years now and 3 married. He's been quite an explosive person in terms of his temper. Why are we getting so many angry men? They need to fucking
Work
do the
for
work.
themselves, telling me.
And as we met when I was so young, 19, I feel I just accepted the bad treatment because I loved him and I didn't know any better. I also didn't tell my friends as he told me not to, so I didn't have that outside voice I needed. It is so interesting when you hear about people that start a relationship so young. I'm not for a second suggesting that anyone that starts a relationship young, it won't work. You see it happen all the time, but it's so clear to me now, looking back, why my relationship didn't work, but I was none the wiser when I was 16 years old.
It's funny, I was actually thinking this in the car the other day. You know how we're like, when we wanted a new relationship, you're like, these are the things I want in someone. When I went into my last relationship that I ended up getting married in, I didn't ever have any of those. Like, I didn't have things I was looking for. I was so immature.
But yeah, I was 16 years old. I was just like, I fancy him.
Like, yeah, it was just like,
Sure.
do you know what I mean? It's amazing what maturity does. Like, I wasn't looking for certain qualities.
But that's what I think is so refreshing when you're in a good place and you start dating in your 30s, because it's a whole different ball game. Because now you're actually dating, knowing exactly what you want, what you don't want, what you'll put up with, where your standards are. And that's why it's important to do the work. What I was explaining at the beginning of this episode was I thought things were outstanding when they were absolute bare minimum. Because when you're comparing from down here, that's why you've got to really understand what is it that one
where your baseline is
in a relationship. Right. Now we have a little boy, I feel like my brain is altered completely and I've become really closed off to my husband as I feel very protective of my son and don't want him to see his dad had these outbursts. I spoke to my husband about me leaving and he's completely changed. He's now love bombing me, buying me flowers, saying how I'm his true love, but it's all giving me the ick. Wasn't expecting that. As I haven't had this treatment for the majority of our relationship and I'm already so closed off. I cry now after we have sex as I don't want to be there. But is that just after my baby brain? My son is now 2. No, you shouldn't be crying after sex.
I think it's interesting that you've explained to him how you feel, and I almost want to recognise good on him in part for like trying to make changes and trying to make you feel loved. And I just wonder if maybe you've spoken about this a little too late, that you're so far in terms of like how you're feeling, like your feelings towards him have changed. But had you maybe spoken about this earlier, whether he might have been able to make those changes earlier before you've kind of, from listening in, it feels like you're already kind of like made up your mind. Yeah.
The thing is, one thing I will say, it's never obviously acceptable to have like explosive personality and like this, that and the other. But I'm assuming you were also young at that point when he was like, don't tell anyone. So I think, because you put here, let me quickly read this last bit. She's put, should I stay to keep my family together or should I trust my gut when she's telling me to run? I'm in need of some reassurance that leaving when there hasn't been any recent bad behaviour is okay. Maybe the grass won't be greener and maybe I'll be making a mistake. Is it the coward way out? First of all, I don't think leaving is ever the coward way out. I think leaving is actually harder. But the thing is, one thing I will say is, if he is willing to change and do the work, I think good on him. But what have you actually communicated? Have you just said, if you don't change, I'm going to leave? Or have you actually sat down and had a really mature conversation and been like, this is what I feel like I'm lacking. You've behaved this way and it isn't right for me. This needs to change or this and this. So like, I feel like it depends. At the end of the day, if you're not wanting to be with him anymore, I don't think you're ever wrong for leaving a relationship that you're not happy in. However, if you have someone that is willing to do the work and you want to make it work, not for your child,
for you,
then it's also worth trying. But that's what I think it comes down to. Who are you staying for? By the sounds of it, it might be your son.
I agree with Tash. I think what you need to do is have that full-on communication. And
How does he respond to actual, rather than just like throwing flowers in your face and this, that and the other, how is he going to actually...
and maybe you communicating, well, actually, you doing this is making me feel this way. What I actually need is blah, blah, blah. So what is it you're looking for? Having those completely honest conversations where you said like, I know there's been things in the past, but it doesn't sound like there's been any infidelity or any like breaches of trust, things like that. I think this is a really good opportunity for you to both sit down and be like, look, kind of we're at a bit of a crisis point in our relationship. Let's see if we can resolve it. This is not a rush to the finish line. It's not a rush to make a decision. A relationship where there's children involved is a really big decision. And I know for me, if I was in that situation, I think I'd want to know that I've exhausted all means of trying.
But also, I think that, like Carly said, I think it would be good for you to express, I appreciate, so don't go in with like
it's not what I wanted. Yeah.
I really appreciate, I can see that you're making these changes. But for me, it seems a bit forced and fake because I know that that's not what you've been like. So, do you know what? I have that conversation. But at the end of the day, one thing I will say, and we say it all the time, I don't believe you should ever stay for the kids, regardless of whether anything, even if someone wrote in and they were writing in because they've fallen out of love with their partner, but I want to stay for the kids. Like, even that, like your partner deserves to have someone love them. Like, you should never stay because of your kids.
Yeah, I agree.
So, should we do a confession of the week?
Mm-hmm.
This is something that I haven't actually told my friend before. I don't ever plan on telling her. When we were much younger, so at least it's younger, when we were much younger and we were in secondary school, I found out that her boyfriend was cheating on her. I didn't want to be the one to tell her because I wasn't sure if she wanted to know. So I set up a fake Facebook profile and messaged her all the details of how her boyfriend had cheated on her. She ended up taking the information and breaking up with him. But to this day, she has no idea that it was me and we are still friends. We are now 32.
Look, I actually think that's a good friend.
Yeah.
I would hate for one of my friends to know something that I didn't know.
Yeah. I guess it's like that fine line between like you're not sure if they really want to know, but you can't sit with it.
I'd want to.
No, but what I mean is like what the friend did. Like she didn't know if she wanted to know, so she did it.
Yeah.
But can you imagine like carrying that with you the whole time?
I think that's better than knowing they're cheating and doing nothing about it.
Valid. Thank you for that. Let's do a little affirmation of the week.
Affirmation of the week.
With every relationship that doesn't work, it is a stepping stone to the right person.
Steppy, steppy, steppy.
I like that. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Bye.
See you next week.